What's up, everybody? Matt Heafy here from Trivium. Today I'm showing off my guitar collection. I've been getting a lot of questions about that. I know people have been seeing me play all sorts of different guitars, but I figure I'm a huge guitar fan. Why not collect everything you ever wanted to collect when you can? I'm still super loyal to my MKH Epiphones. Those things are having a revamp soon. I can't give too much information on what it's going to be, but basically, if you've ever wanted the Snowfall, the original black, make sure you get those because those are being discontinued forever, and they're never coming back. So get those soon. Also, like I said, I'm a huge guitar collector. I love guitars. I've been all about getting really killer boutique companies, boutique guitars, and showing all that stuff off. So here we go. To start, I'll show a couple super rare things. Here we go. This guitar right here was given to me by a Trivium fan named Paul, who lives in Michigan. I brought this on tour when we toured with Metallica on the festival run, and I had all of them sign this guitar. This was given to me by a Trivium supporter, who I then had my favorite band of all time sign the freaking thing. I don't play it for good reason, but isn't that freaking awesome? Signed by all of Metallica. This guitar is what we recorded all of the Crusade with. The entire record was done with this guitar. This guitar was signed by Dream Theater when we toured with them on the In Wave cycle. Once I had them all sign it, I retired the guitar forever. It's one of the older Petrucci models. Freaking amazing guitar, but yeah, that's where the Crusade tone comes from. The Crusade was the only record as well that we didn't record with some form of 5150. That was a Bogner Uberschall and the Petrucci 7-string that you see right here. That was all the Crusade. But every single other Trivium record has been some form of 5151, 2, 05, 05 plus. I don't know if we did a 34 plus. Maybe we did. We used Triple X on Ember, and I think Caphronome as well. 5153 on Sin. So, yes. This is the rarity right here. Korn is the band that got me into 7 strings. Korn is one of my first favorite bands of all time. We toured with Korn. Monkey had always been asking me about my signature Epiphone. So I surprised him with one on Mayhem that we did together. I gave that to him, and then I think Head made a joke. He's like, "Hey, where's mine?" He made the joke. He was obviously kidding. So I got him one too. And then Jonathan Davis was like, "Hey, that guitar looks pretty sick. Could I get one?" So I got him one as well. So Korn surprised me with this guitar on Mayhem, and they all signed the guitar. Also, another guitar that I don't play because it's signed and it's incredible. This guitar is the now discontinued Paulo Gregoletto signature bass. I should get it signed by him. I guess it's got the truss. I use this for home recording. I gave him one of my signatures. He gave me one of his signatures. Glad to have it. It's the only bass I own. Only bass. My friend Tom from the Acacia Strain hit me up one day and said, "Hey, my dad is building custom guitars, and he'd like to see if you'd ever want to try one." This Axe of Mordor was built by what used to be called T. Smith Guitars, which is now called T.W. Smith Guitars. Jody Sinclair and I have been talking to T.W. Smith with helping some stuff, Jody made a new logo. I think he's working on a website, all sorts of stuff like that. So we basically helped him out, and Mr. Smith built me this absolutely freaking incredible guitar. Evertune, Fishman-Fluence Moderns. I've always wanted an Explorer that looks like Hetfield's Ken Lawrence, and I feel like this thing looks even better. Yes, it does. It looks like freaking Mordor. It's a little bit of sweat on that thing. But I believe that I have trypophobia, and this guitar, when he first showed me the wood, it gave me trypophobia, and I mentioned that, and he said, "Oh, we should switch it." I said, "No, we shouldn't, because I'm going to be the one showing it to everyone else, so I'm giving everyone else trypophobia." It's like that episode of The Office where Michael decided that Oscar had to wear the baby poster as a shirt. When we did that Dream Theater tour, and we had everyone sign the guitar, at the very end, Petrucci surprised me with this. He pulled it out of his guitar boat. I said, "What the heck is this all about?" And he said, "You deserve it." So he gave me one of his personal guitars out of his touring stash, which is freaking amazing. It's the JP11. Sounds incredible, plays incredibly. This one I do play a lot. I love it. Thank you very much, John. I did send him one of my guitars afterwards as a big thank you. But there it is. This is the newest guitar in the collection. We have dubbed it many things. Cthulhu. Susanoo fought. Yamato no Orochi. That's the name of the 9-headed or 8-headed serpent of the sea. Sorry, I'm getting my numbers mixed up. Orochi means 8. Yamata no Orochi. Yeah, the 8-headed serpent of the sea. That's my back tattoo piece. That's the other idea we're going to call it. But it's a Vader headless. My very first headless I've ever owned. I freaking love it. It's got the polarity pickups, which I've never used before, but I'm pretty obsessed with them. Especially this second position with the push-pull up. It just sounds like evil glass shattering. And then down here's the bridge. I've actually been using it pulled out versus pushing, because this is like the super piston. I feel like when it's an 8-string, it's a little clearer, a little bit cleaner like that. Look at that fretboard material. Freaking awesome. Newest guitar to the collection. I've never owned a Kiesel before. Jeff had always heard me talking about how wanted a headless 8-string. Surprised me one day with a photo, and been rocking it ever since. This is the guitar that started the Aristides obsession. Ishan was telling me how incredible the Aristides were. I was super blown away when he was telling me, hey, this is the best guitar in the world. I contacted Aristides. I custom ordered this thing, had this built to my specs. I said I wanted something that had never been done before. Give me a 4-color guitar. And so it's chameleon blue-green on the back, chameleon purple-red on the front. It's got bare-knuckle pickups, 8-string. This is truly one of the best playing guitars I've ever played in my life. This and that Vader I just showed you. And back to readdress, and I think I should have it in the video a lot, me talking about it. A lot of people are like, well, why are you showing us these different guitars when you have signature Epiphones? Well, I still stand the heck behind my Epiphones, but I'm still allowed to collect guitars that I love. And I really like boutique companies. I really love the care that Aristides puts behind their guitars. Made of Arium. The pattern is freaking insane. Yeah, very, very good. As the Aristides relationship expanded, because I play Aristides on my stream, played on my socials, Pascal built me this thing. This golden 070S. So it's multi-scale, just like the 8-string is. It's a little bit more of a matte finish on everything. This one also has bare-knuckle pickups. This is a guitar we use on the Witcher cover, so if you've ever been wondering what it sounds like recorded, there it is. Aristides 070S. Also one of the greatest playing guitars that I own. Aristides 060S. My goal was to get something very vintage looking, very 1950s, like one of those 1950s Smeg fridges. I actually sent him a picture of a Smeg fridge. I love this thing. Call it Molly Ringwald because it's pretty in pink. This one actually has Lundgren pickups in it. I'm not sure which model of Lundgren pickups there are in them, but it sounds pretty freaking fantastic. This is also multi-scale. I've never imagined playing a multi-scale 6-string, but I'm really into it. I love the satin pink. Love this guitar. Gold one we've been calling Bea Arthur. I think I'm saying it right. Bea, Beatrice, because it's a golden girl. One of my buddies, we trade instruments. I traded a couple guitars for a couple of his. This was his, Mr. Paul Terry. This thing is the battle-worn purple Aristides 080S. This was actually the guitar that fully sold me on Aristides because I'd heard from Ishan, I've heard from a lot of people that they loved it. I was able to play one at a show in Holland. But Paul sent me this, lent it to me, and after I played it, I said, I'm buying one. So here it is, battle-worn purple 080S. Fantastic guitar. This guitar was another trade as well. I traded another one of my guitars for this thing. Battle-worn silver 080S. Same setups as my Chameleon, same setup as the battle-worn purple. But battle-worn silver. This is usually one I bring on US tours a lot to warm up with. I love this freaking guitar. I obviously love the Aristides 080Ss because I have so many of them. I have 3 of them now. 2 were trades, 1 was a purchase. Just a fan. Oh, this one's with Lundgrens? Didn't realize that. This one is with Lundgrens. Over here we've got the cracked silver 007 non-multi-scale Aristides with Tosin Abasi's signature pickups. This arcade button kill switch that I love. So this thing has tons of pickup options. The finish is pretty insane. This was another recent trade with my buddy Paul. Freaking love this thing. Here's my only Floyd Rose guitar that I own and play. The Kirk is a Floyd, but I don't play the Kirk. This is a Purple Flame 060 non-multi-scale. This is with the kill switch pickups. And I'm quite surprised that I own Floyd. But both this and the 070 are pretty freaking fantastic. Satin neck, plays awesome, sounds awesome. This one I actually keep in standard, and sometimes I'll play some, because as everyone knows, Trivium, we're half a step down. But when I feel like staying in standard, I'll play the cracked silver. I'll play this purple. I'll play them in standard. This one's super interesting. This one is a 10S. It's a new company, I believe, out of China. One day they hit me up and they said, hey, we heard you like vintage Strats. We'll make you a vintage Strat. So they sent me this thing. Pretty awesome guitar. I like that they etched in the Chaos Star, Kichi Chaos, Tesla pickups. When I very first signed to Gibson, it was in Gibson, Europe. This was the guitar they gave me, the first guitar. My dad's dream was always to have a son who played a Les Paul. Obviously, the Les Paul is a shape I'm known very, very much for. Look how much I've freaking used this thing. The back from belt buckles getting destroyed. But this is a black Les Paul Custom. One of the best guitars ever. Les Paul Custom, in my humble opinion. EMG 8185. I gotta update these with the Fishmans. But that is the Custom. This one, you could tell by the back of the neck. This is the original. This is the guitar I got when I was about 11 or 12. Which I know is kind of ridiculous for an 11 or 12-year-old to get a Les Paul Custom. My kids are going to have to, well, I guess they already have them, since they would have to work for a guitar like this. But you can see this one is beat to hell. This one I've been using since I was a kid. This is the OG. This is the one that the signature is completely based off of. I sent this guitar to Epiphone and said, copy this guitar as closely as you can while keeping it as affordable as freaking possible. But there it is. As classic as it gets. The original. This one I purchased from the Gibson factory when we were on tour with Slipknot. It's me, Jim Root, and a couple of the guitar techs. We're all doing a tour of the Gibson factory. I said I always want a Silver Burst, so I bought the Silver Burst on that tour. Just like all Les Paul Customs, they're some of the best guitars in the world. They're very heavy. Les Paul Customs should be heavy. It's what gives a little bit of the tone. This one I use quite a bit. I mean, you could tell by the neck. I think I brought this on Mayhem. Mayhem on the Shogun run is what I remember using this. But there it is. Very cool guitar. I don't quite remember when I got this. This had to have been around 2011, 2012. This is the Alpine White Les Paul Custom. It was to pair up with my other ones. This isn't the original from the Gunshot video. The one from the Gunshot video was actually we used in a charity auction for a military-based charity in 2005. But this is the Alpine White. Classic as it gets. Les Paul Custom. Now, I can't recall if this is a 57, 58, or 68 reissue copy Les Paul Custom. Can't exactly recall. But it's one of those years. It's the year where they had these sharp triangles that we had to bend down because I kept stabbing myself. See those triangles? But there's something really sick about a Les Paul Custom with silver hardware versus gold. The now basically discontinued Epiphone MKH Snowfall that's been slightly customized with Fishman's Evertune. These are all based off that OG. What's hard about basing a 6-string or a 7-string based off of a 6-string is that I told them to just make it happen. So when we do our revamps, we're going to do things like it's going to have Fishman's. It's going to have Evertune option. I don't want to make you fixed to be using Evertune. I love Evertune, but it's not for everybody, especially if you tune around and play different songs by different bands. But this is the duplicate of my EU and USA guitar rig. These next 4 guitars. Here is the original, the 6-string MKH. Also customized. Evertune, Fishman's. And of course, my infamous dual strap that makes so many people so upset. I love it. I think it even looks cool. I don't know why people have a problem with change, but I'm going to keep bringing change, buddy. So yes, the MKH Richter dual strap, which we might also, we're considering discontinuing and revamping a new vibe, new model. Lars and I were actually talking about that this morning. But this is the same thing. I use this one a lot. Same one I use on the US tours and European tours. White Snowfall 6, customized the same way. Evertunes, Fishman's, Groove Gear, Richter. I like to have these pick holders in the back as well. I like to move around a lot. And if I don't have a pick, life is difficult with Trivium. Because sure, you could finger pick, but you cannot finger pick Suffocating Sight. Maybe you can. I can't. The last electric of the collection, 7-string MKH, which will also be discontinued. This one's got Fishman Evertunes, Richter Groove Gear, identical to what I use in the US and Europe. I have some models with Fishmans, some models without Fishmans, some models with Evertunes, some models without Evertunes, but not in my house. Some people ask me what the stripes denote. They denote the record amount. A lot of them have had stripes fall off. I've accidentally overstriped a couple of my guitars. One has 12, one has 4. Too much, too much. Last couple guitars show you in the collection, that's it. I don't have 70 or 80 guitars like Corey has, but I've got a couple. So here's the acoustic collection. Arguably, in my opinion, the greatest of the acoustic guitars that exist, SJ300 Gibson. This thing is a monster. Well, I guess I shouldn't call it a monster, because acoustic stuff, you don't really use monstery things on it. But yeah, SJ300. This is probably my favorite acoustic that I own. Oops. I beat my guitars up quite a bit. I mean, you'll see scratches and scuffs and spit and all that stuff. And that's how guitars should be used. They shouldn't be hanging up on your wall and be perfectly clean. When I find a model I like, I stick with it. This is the SJ200. Same thing with Les Paul Customs and Aristides 080Ss. When I find something I love, I generally stick with one style. This is just like the last one, but the SJ200 version. This is what I use for acoustic shows, anytime I've ever traveled. I believe, did I bring this to Vakken? No, I didn't, but I use this for some other acoustic shows. Staying on theme with guitars, this is the Gibson SJ100. So I have the 1, 2, and 300. This one I haven't used too much. I dig it. I wanted to catch them all. I have 100, 200, 300. Yes, that was a Pokemon reference. What I believe is the very last guitar. The Yamaha CG100SA that I borrowed from Paulo's uncle. We were staying over there on a day off years back. Mayhem, probably the Shogun run. I mentioned how I've always wanted one, and he lent it to me. This one I bring on tour sometimes. It is not in tune. I haven't used it in a while. Yes, it was borrowed. And I think that covers everything. So stuff that you don't see, Europe, 2 6s, 2 7s, and a backup sticker guitar. The sticker guitar is a 7 that I use to back up all the tunings because Evertune, if I break a string in drop A, and it's Evertune, I need a standard that I can tune down. So I've got the 5 European guitars. America, the same thing. 2 6, 2 7 MKH Epiphones, and then a 5th backup 7. Actually just traded out the sticker 7 in the US one, so I gotta get another one. And that is it. If there's ever fly dates or something extra, so let's say we're in Europe and we have fly dates there, we'll ship the American guitars over there. We've never had to use a C rig, but if we ever had to, I'd use the guitars from my house. But my guitars basically these stay in my house. That's it. Everything else, I'm not gonna lift this, but down there, 3 heads, but I really only use one. The 5150 block letter, the original, the OG, the one that all the 5150s are based off, and in my humble opinion, the best metal amp that you could possibly get. Hold off if you're about to try to find one used. Corey and I are trying to work on something, so we should have something for you soon. Yes, so I've got a 5150, original XXX, and an original 6505. I think the 05 is actually blown. The 05 was from our Shogun runs. I replaced the tube. It still doesn't quite sound the same as the 5150 block letter, which is just a monster. That concludes the guitar tour.